We have Shay Theodore and Riley Smith here to take your questions. We'll begin right away with a question from Ben Ghost.
Hey, Riley, it seemed like they kind of had a jump a little bit on you guys in the first period, and then you guys kind of settled things down in the second. I guess just how much was there a feeling out process tonight, given that you guys hadn't seen these guys yet?
It's going to be a little different. They came out with a lot of speed and I think played pretty aggressive, created some opportunities around our net. As soon as we settled in, scored a first goal, I felt like the pace kind of felt more like it was in our favor, and we were able to create a little bit more. They're a good team playing with the lead, so scoring first is going to be important.
Next question comes from Justin Emerson, Las Vegas Sun.
Hey, Shay, can you talk about the pass to Alec Martinez there in the second period? It looked like you were going to shoot in the last minute one there. So what'd you see on that and how to develop?
Yeah, I was going to shoot it, but he was yelling at me pretty good, and he was wide open too, so that definitely helped.
Next question comes from Jesse Granger.
You guys locked down the neutral zone pretty well tonight. It's something you did well against Colorado. I'm curious, how different is what you have to do in the neutral zone against this team compared to a team like Colorado?
You just have to be smart and diligent with the puck. Can't try to overcomplicate things. They do a good job standing on their blue line. So if you can get some speed, get pucks deep, and try to cycle them, that's where the opportunities are going to come.
Next question comes from Nick Kostanika.
Hey, Shay, I know what a good defense core you have, and you make an impact most nights, but why on this particular night was the defense core so impactful?
I'm not sure. I mean, we were doing the right things. I thought we were detailed in our D zone. Breaking out the puck, we did well. Guys are jumping into the rush, trying to find those goals, and Nicky to get a goal in back-to-back games is huge, and I think everyone's really playing well.
We'll take a few more questions here. Next question comes from John Morrissey.
Thank you. This question is for Shay. There was a stretch early in the second period where I thought Alex Pietrangelo was very active, jumping up in the play. When Alex does that really have a momentum effect on the rest of your defensive group and get all you guys very active as well?
Yeah, he's great at joining the rush, making moves, finding open players. And, I think that kind of gets them on their heels a bit. So, when we start to roll over shifts, the next group out is, kind of doing the same thing. And, it's good for him to get that started.
It looks like we have one last question here from Brian Buffing.
Hey, Shay, could you just talk about, he's done it all year long, Martinez stepping in front of a monster slap shot, what that resonates on the bench and how that rubs off on the entire group?
I mean, at this point, it's per usual. The guy's stepping into the lane, doesn't matter who's shooting it. And, he's blocking every shot that comes to him. So, he's definitely a heart and soul guy of our team. And, he wants to win, and, he does everything it takes.
Thank you for your time, guys.
Thank you.
We have Matthias Yamark and Nick Holden here to take your questions. Please utilize the raise hand function if you have a question. First question goes to Ben Goetz.
Hey, Matthias, it seemed like Alex Tuck was really skating out there. I guess what's it like for you and Nick on your line to kind of play off his speed when he's going like that, like he was tonight?
Yeah, he was playing good. I think we all got going. But yeah, he's great on the forecheck. He gets to stick on a lot of pucks and makes it hard for the opposition. And then we can all ride off of that. And we got some good ozone time from it. So yeah, it's for sure nice.
Next question comes from Justin Emerson, Las Vegas Sun.
Hey, Nick, the defense was really active tonight. 3 of the 4 goals, a ton of shots. Was that part of the game plan or just kind of how the flow of the game brought you guys into the offense?
Probably a little bit of both. We talked about making sure D were getting up in the play to make sure we had good gaps if pucks turned over, but ended up being that we were able to jump up and get some pucks and obviously score some goals and make some plays. So it's always big when you can get contributions from different places, and tonight was one of those nights.
Next question comes from Stormy with the Vegas Golden Knights.
Nick, against a Montreal team that hasn't trailed in over 400 minutes, 7 straight games coming into this one, just how key was it to get on the board first and force them a little out of their style?
Yeah, I think we just wanted to make sure we focused on getting to our game. I think they came out really hard in the first period there and kind of took it to us a little bit. We were on our heels a bit of that first period. They're getting inside at our net. And so I think it was big for us to get a couple goals in that first period, even though they kind of outplayed us a little bit.
Next question comes from Jesse Granger.
For Matthias, you guys have done a really good job of locking down the zone and stopping the flow through that area. So I'm curious, how different is what you have to do against this team compared to what you were doing against Colorado?
It's pretty similar. It's pretty similar to the Minnesota series too. They wind up with some speed, have some guys there, but yeah, we play the same way. Again, of course, against Colorado, you got to be aware of that first line for sure. But I think we play the same way against all the oppositions, and we've played pretty good. But yeah, it's similar to both series we've played before.
Next question comes from Mark Masters from TSN.
Nick, that was a great sequence all over the ice for you guys in the lead up to your goal. How did you see that play unfold?
Yeah, I mean, our forwards were doing a good job holding on to pucks. And then I just saw Smitty grab that puck and kind of saw Lane going down the backside, and he made a great play to me. And fortunately, I held on to it a little bit, and then the net opened up for me. So, yeah, great play by our forwards to kind of hold on to pucks and create a lane there.
Next question comes from David Shane.
Hi, Nick. You guys have been down in every series, losing the first game. How much nicer or how much different is it going to feel just being up 1-0 in a series going forward?
Yeah, obviously, to start series, you always want to try and get out to a lead. And so I don't think it's going to change our game plan or how we prepare. We're going to look at how the game went tonight and make sure that we're ready for game 2. That's the biggest thing in playoffs, is making sure that you're not dwelling or looking too much at the game you just played and making sure that you're ready for the next one.
Next question comes from Mark Spector.
Hey, Nick, your top 5 playoff scorers to this point, Carlson, Marchessault, Stone, Pacioretty, Pietrangelo, had 1 point between them tonight. So you guys score 4, you win a game nicely, and all your top producers don't have to produce because everybody else produces. Does that provide some confidence and some, does it make you feel even a little bit better about how things went tonight?
You know what? I think to get deeper and deeper into playoffs, you need scoring from everywhere. And so I kind of touched on a little bit with the defense question earlier, but if you can get guys contributing that aren't your big guns, you're going to win games. And so that's something that's important for us to do moving forward as well. Just making sure that we have that depth scoring.
We'll take 2 more questions here. The next question comes from Ryan Buffing.
Hey, Nick, what was the communication like on the bench, maybe in the locker room during intermissions about the Canadians? What was it like playing someone other than a West Division foe, a team you hadn't seen in over a year?
Yeah, I mean, I think we did. Our coaches did some homework and obviously showed us video and stuff, so we had an idea of what their game was going to be like. I think they came out really hard in the first period there and had us on our heels a little bit in our zone. But then I thought we got to our game and started being able to get our forecheck and get pucks behind them and make sure that we were bringing our game to them. And so obviously, yeah, like you said, we haven't played them in over a year, but it doesn't matter the opponent. We want to make sure that we're putting our game on other teams.
And last question here goes to Noah Strange.
Hey, Matthias, a couple of big goals from defensemen tonight. How does it affect what the forwards are able to do offensively when you're getting scoring from the blue line like tonight?
I think you just keep playing same way. But obviously, if you see we're having success from the blue line, you want to get pucks up there, and then you want to get in front. It makes it a little bit easier to do that, I think. But yeah, you're just playing your way, and when you're scoring from the blue line, you trust that, and you try to feed them with as much pucks as you can, and gets the most on time.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We have Mark Stone and Marc-Andre Fleury here to take your questions. We'll start right away with a question from Ben Goetz.
Hey, Marc-Andre, just what did you think of your defensemen tonight? It seemed like they did a good job kind of clearing out, boxing out in front of you, and then obviously they were scoring a bunch on the offensive end.
Yeah, I thought you gave the answer right there. All night, all series, all season, these guys have been amazing, blocking a lot of shots, and helping me out around the net for rebounds and clear it away, and it's a big part of the game. I think this team shoot a lot of pucks to the net and have a lot of people coming in for rebounds and stuff. So yeah, they've been great at it, and like you said, obviously they contribute offensively, with some nice goals and assists, and also is fun to watch.
Next question comes from Justin Emerson, Las Vegas Sun.
Hey, Marc-Andre, a lot of the talk coming into the series was the goaltending battle. I'm kind of curious how much you view it as a duel between you and Carey Price. Obviously, it's a team game, but do you kind of see what he's doing, kind of want to match and exceed that?
Is that a nickel? No, like to me, I don't feel like I'm playing against Carey. I got to worry about the shooters and the guys trying to score on me. And those are the guys I feel like I got to handle and worry about. Carey's obviously a very good goalie. It's fun to watch. They made some nice saves tonight, but it's still nice to get a few goals and get the win that way.
Next question comes from Stormy from the Vegas Golden Knights.
Mark Riley Smith said the first period was kind of like a feeling out process a little bit. Just how important was it to get that first goal on the board in a feel out type of a period to weather that storm and score first?
Yeah, I mean, he came out strong. I didn't play very well for the first, 10, 15 minutes. I thought Fleury made a couple of big saves to kind of ease the tension for us. And then we get the icing and a big face-off goal from Theo. And it's so important to play at the lead, especially when you're playing a good team like Montreal and with a good goalie. So that was a big goal for us for sure.
Next question comes from Jesse Granger.
For Martin, you were able to lock up the neutral zone pretty well, especially as the game went on. What that area of the ice?
Jesse, could you repeat your question, please?
Yeah, for Mark Stone, you guys really locked down the neutral zone. What were you happiest about the way you guys played in that part of the ice?
Yeah, I think like I said, for the first 10, 15 minutes, I thought they skated really well through the neutral zone. And once we were able to get a decent forecheck going, some back pressure, it allowed RD to have good gaps. And RD, when they play with that tight gap and transition the puck, that's when we start to get rolling a bit. For the second and majority of the third period, maybe until they pulled their goalie, we did a pretty good job of limiting them coming through. They're a good forechecking team, so if you can try and limit them with those opportunities to get in, it's important. And NRD did a great job standing their ground.
Next question comes from Mark Masters.
Marc-Andre, what's the key to dealing with someone like Brendan Gallagher who's going to try and get in your face and in your crease and get you off your game during this series?
I don't know. I faced him before. I know him well, right? It's expected, and I know he's going to come. I know he's going to keep coming. So it's part of the game. It's fine. I don't mind it.
Next question comes from Luke Jelinas.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry, Mark, I have a question in French for Flower. Marc-André, vos défenseurs ont marqué 3 buts ce soir. Ils en ont déjà 9 depuis le début des séries. On reconnaît leur talent défensif, mais à quel point leur contribution à l'attaque, particulièrement ce soir, là, vous a vraiment aidé et change les données pour les Golden Knights?
Ouais, je pense que toute la saison, ils ont été une grosse... Excuse-moi. Je pense des mots anglais. Ils ont été bons pour nous offensivement. Écoute, comme tu dis, ils sont bons pour sortir de la zone, ils patinent bien. Ils bloquent beaucoup de lancers pour moi aussi. Fait que c'est le fun. Écoute, on a des gars patients avec la rondelle, des gars qui patinent bien, qui ont les bons lancers, qui sont capables de créer de l'offensive aussi de l'autre côté de la ligne bleue. Donc, c'est fun à voir. Je suis content pour eux. Écoute, ils mettent leur corps sur la ligne à chaque soir en bloquant un lancer. Donc, quand ils peuvent scorer des buts, c'est bien pour eux.
We'll take a couple more questions in French. Mark, if you'd like to leave, feel free. Next question comes from Antoine Lacroix. Antoine, go ahead. We will come back to you. Next question, Julien Lepage.
Salut Marc-André. Les gars en ont parlé un peu en première période. Les Canadiens sont sortis fort. Ils ont beaucoup bourdonné autour de ton filet. Est-ce que tu as senti qu'après votre but, le vent a changé de côté puis les choses se sont un peu tranquillisées dans ta zone?
Je pense que oui. Comme tu as dit, ils sont sortis fort. Ils étaient dans une zone quand même pour une bonne partie. Là, il y avait beaucoup de monde autour du but, mais je pense qu'on a réussi, comme tu dis, à sortir de ça, on a commencé à jouer notre game comme qu'on veut. Puis je pense qu'on a eu le contrôle de la rondelle beaucoup pour le reste du match. On a réussi à compter des gros buts en deuxième aussi. Donc, c'est une game de 60 minutes. Donc, il faut rester patient. Il ne faut pas paniquer que ce qui arrive en début de match. Puis je pense que nos gars, ils ont fait ça ce soir.
We have 2 more questions here. Next question, Ron Futrell.
Okay, Marc-Andre Fleury, first period was crazy. You had a lot of work to do in that first period against Montreal. Your thoughts on how that first period went? You had to make a lot of crazy saves there in that first period.
Thank you. No, I just tried to do my job, right? Tried to keep the score close, and I've got lucky here and there, and our guys did good, clearing the rebounds and blocking some shots also, right? And from, like we talked about before, once we got that first goal, and we took over, I think.
And that's all the questions. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We have Coach DeBoer here to take your questions. Please utilize the raise hand feature. We'll start right away with a question from Ben Goetz.
Ben?
Hey, Pete. Seems like they came out skating well in the first period, and then you guys kind of settled into the game. I guess just how much of this game early was just kind of a, feeling out process, given you hadn't seen each other yet all year?
Yeah, I think a feeling out process. I think us coming off a real emotional series win, playing a couple games more than they obviously played. So, I think all those things factored into the first period. And, thankfully Fleury was our best player, gave us a chance to get our legs. And then, I really liked our game in the second and third.
Next question comes from Stormy with the Golden.
Hi, Stormy.
Just because of that feeling out process early on, getting the first goal against a team in Montreal that hadn't trailed for 400 or so minutes, just how important was that early goal?
Critical. We talked in our pre-scout meetings about, that they would obviously be more uncomfortable in their structure and their game playing from behind. And no one had really made them play from behind for a while. So, the first goal was huge. And at the right time too, in the first period for us, with how we were playing, gave us a little bit of an opportunity to take a deep breath and kind of gather ourselves and find our game.
Next question comes from Justin Emerson, Las Vegas Sun.
Justin.
Pete, I wanted to ask about your defense on both ends of the ice. It seemed like they were willing to pinch pretty good, and Nick Holden's goal came from pretty in tight. And then in your end, it seemed like they were keeping to the outside and making it a little easier on Fleury there. Just hoping you kind of discuss that and what you liked about their game tonight.
Yeah. Well, again, once we, after we got through the first period, I liked everything about our game. And our defense contributing offensively is something that's been part of our foundation all year. We've relied on those guys to chip in offensively for us. They're a big part of our identity. And, they did it tonight. And would we have, three defenseman goals so that's a big part of what we do. Defensively, like I said, I thought in the second and third, up until they pulled the goalie with the 4-minute mark, I really like how we defended.
Next question comes from Christopher Chapman.
Shea was so good in the last two series defensively, but how nice was it to see him get a goal tonight, and how vital is that going to be going forward to have him scoring goals for you guys?
Yeah, he's like any offensive player. It's a confidence thing. I think he got looks last round, but just wasn't clicking. So the fact he got one early here is a good sign. I think, he needed it. Hopefully he relaxes a little bit now
I thought he was outstanding tonight.
Next question comes from David Chain.
David.
Pete, two of those goals were off ozone face-offs. How much did you figure, or do you think that figured into your success tonight, and just overall, how much did you think that factored in?
Well, it was a key part. You know, we didn't win as many face-offs as we usually do, and I thought we actually lost the face-off battle. But the ones we did win, we executed, got some pucks and bodies to the net, and got some goals. You know, in Game 6 against Colorado, we had a face-off goal same way. So, you know, that's something that that is starting to you know, really help us win games.
Next question comes from Jesse Granger.
Jesse.
Hey, Pete, obviously winning 4-1, you're not going to change a lot, but I'm curious, like, how much did you learn tonight about this team, and how much better prepared are you, I guess, going into Game 2 now that you've actually seen them on the ice with your players?
Yeah, I think you can prepare on video and analytics, but until you see a team live, you know, they were impressive early. You know, the way they were getting pucks and bodies to the net. Their physicality is as advertised. You know, Price is as advertised. They're a good hockey team. You know, I liked how we built our game tonight, and you know, I thought controlled it over the last 40 minutes, and we've got to show up for Game 2 and do the same thing when we drop the puck in the first period.
We'll take a few more questions here. Next question comes from Jesse Narek.
Hey, Jesse.
About Tuck's game tonight.
I thought that was our best line. I thought Watt, Tuck, and Janmark were our best line, even through the first period when, you know, we were stumbling around a little bit. That was one line that consistently all night, every time I threw them out there, were very good.
Next question comes from Ron Futrell.
Hey, Ron.
Hey there, Pete. Want to get your thoughts on Marc-Andre Fleury, his performance in particular in the first period. Seemed like a lot of great chances by Montreal, but he seemed to be the guy to send them all away.
Yeah, I mean, he's been playing at an elite level all year, and you know, I think that's probably his best asset, is that when our team isn't on, or we're stumbling a little bit trying to find our game, you know, he has the ability to make those big saves and allow us to get some confidence and get our legs. I thought the third period in Game 6 against Colorado was like that. You know, we bent a little bit, and he made some huge saves down the stretch to allow us to close that game out. And the first period tonight, for sure. I mean, you know, there's no doubt they could have been up 1 or 2-0 early, and maybe that's a different game. So he was our best player early.
And the last question here comes from Mark Spector.
Hey, Mark.
Thanks, Pete. Your top 5 playoff scorers combined for 1 point tonight. So this isn't me being critical of those players by any means. What I'm saying is, you get 4 goals and all your top scorers don't count on. I'm not saying they didn't help, but they didn't count on the score sheet. Is that sort of the epitome of how you win in the playoffs some nights?
For sure. You know, it's the identity of I think of our team. You know, we don't have that one line like Colorado has, or you know, like Edmonton has. We've always been you know, I use the phrase "sum of our parts" all year, and I think when you look at our playoff scoring, we've gotten contributions from everybody. When you look at our defense scoring during the year, I think we're in the top 2 or 3 in the league. So you know, I think if you're a really good player on our team, Mark Stone, Max Pacioretty, you know, those type of guys, it's nice not to have that pressure that you have to score or the team's not going to get one, you know. And you know, tonight it was the defense. The other night it was a fourth line kicked one in, third line tonight. So that's what wins this time of year.
Coach, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
That concludes the Vegas Golden Knights media availability. Thank you all for joining.